Could we call him the face that launched 1,000 memes?
Oh, my goodness.
If you saw the Grammys, or even if you didn't watch them, but you've been on the internet at all the last few days, you've seen Ben Affleck's face.
Boy, he looks so happy.
He loved being at the Grammys. We'll be talking Grammys, kind of a recap some of the things, including a juicy little bit of country music information. We don't know who, but somebody went to the bathroom a lot for some reason.
We'll tell you more.
Coming up. Hey, thanks so much for coming back and checking out the show again. So glad to have you here. Usually we wait till the end, but just in case you don't make it that far, please subscribe.
Yes.
If you're here, especially if you've come back more than once and you still haven't hit that subscribe button, we're just going to go ahead and get it out right away. Please subscribe. Okay?
And share on your socials so that other people can learn about the show and come see it. I had a lady the other day message us and just say she was listening on her way to work and had so much fun. So we appreciate it.
Yeah, for all of our radio friends, it's a chance to have our show uninterrupted, really, barely interrupted, and no music to get in the way of our hilarity.
Well, I don't know about that.
That might be a stretch. Glad to have you
That's
with us.
where we save so much time, by having no laughs.
when you don't have to hold for laughs, it's amazing how fast things go by. So I thank you. I saw the first season of Hunters. We both watched it. Amazon Prime original, Al Pacino and many others hunting down escaped Nazis and on the search for Hitler in the 70s. If you haven't watched it, great show. We just wrapped up season 2 and loved it.
For those of you wondering, Hitler plays the bad guy.
In a rare stretch away from his normal life. Yeah. Do you know who played him?
I know the name, but I couldn't place where I've seen him.
Let me help you. This is not a spoiler, but the guy who plays Hitler is very good, and they've clearly done some makeup work and everything. If you'll think back to a little movie we love called Armageddon.
Yes.
When they're going through the psych evaluations before they go into space, he's one of the doctors.
Yes.
I'm like, can I get a hug from you or something? That's the guy he's talking to.
Wow.
So if you know Armageddon and you watch Hunters, you can tie those together. I've saved you some time.
And now, once again, Nazis and Hitler was tied into the space program. So now this all comes together.
It's all coming together. It's all Hollywood plotting. Anyway, great show. You should definitely watch it. I would say my only complaint is probably that they filmed 80% of the show in the dark.
It was a dark season.
It was challenging to see because we have a dog who's scared of a sound that gets made by a camera in our house, and if the kitchen lights aren't on, it makes that sound, and the kitchen lights are right behind where our TV is on the wall. It's a real pain in the ass. That's all I'm saying. But it's a great show. Now, you said you've started The Last of Us. You're trying it.
Yes, I've caught up to the episode everybody's talking about. Yeah. I mean, it was a great episode, very touching, well acted. But I'm just not into the show. I fought zombie shows before I got on Walking Dead years ago. I was like, I'm kind of over zombie shows. World War Z, I was like, okay, that's good. I enjoyed that. Walking Dead, the first few seasons, I really enjoyed. And then it was like, okay, now it's starting to be the same thing. The first couple episodes of Last of Us, and I don't play the video game, don't know the video game, I'm like, this is kind of like The Walking Dead light to me. And then this episode everyone's talking about, I'm like, wow, thank God somebody discovered Linda Ronstadt.
It's very frustrating.
But that's about it. I'm like, I mean, I could take it or leave it at this point. I'm going to watch this week, and then the Super Bowl, it's coming out early, Friday for Super Bowl. So
the episode that we just watched this past weekend was still some heavy stuff, but definitely more fun and some humorous moments. And I was looking. I guess they took several scenes and several things right out of the video. They're lifting things straight from the video.
Yeah, I guess they wore the exact same clothes.
Yeah,
last episode.
We've never played. And Katie, who's not a huge video game person, but she's like, we got to get this game and just play it and see what it's like. And I was like, I can't do that. I'm a real rabbit hole video game guy. If I start playing a video game, that's all I'll do for the next 2 weeks.
I'm just hoping is that Bill Withers, they just do a version of just The Last of Us instead of just the two of us.
Oh. Okay, you heard it here first.
That's right.
That's not a bad idea at all.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm hearing it in my head. I think
exactly. You'll hear it all day.
This has got hit written all over it. Katie actually, I cannot present an opposing opinion because I have not watched it, but she presented an opposing opinion to me before I left that she watched You People and thought it was very good. She thinks you were incorrect.
Well, she's wrong, but that's okay. I'm not saying it was a bad movie. When I finished it, it's much like there's a lot of movies I watch, and I'm like, yeah, that was okay. I enjoyed it, but I'll never watch it again. And that's the camp this falls into. Okay. I didn't have laughs per minute. I was not holding my side going, Eddie Murphy was hilarious. I wasn't holding my side going, Jonah Hill is hilarious.
Well, but out of the gate, you told me when you texted me that you're kind of over Jonah Hill, so you're not a huge fan of his anyway. And when's the last time Eddie Murphy did something that made you laugh out loud?
Dolomite or whatever.
Okay, that's been a while. So, I mean, I think if you go into it maybe with a lower expectation, maybe you'll be more entertained.
If you're looking for a good C movie that when it's over you'll never think about again, that's it.
And aren't we all? Isn't that what we're looking for? A complete waste of our time. Gosh, I sure wish I could just kill 2 hours of my life with something terrible. And then the last thing, and I know you don't care, but I'm going to just say it because I'm so happy that it's over. I finished a major project in my life that I started about a year ago, but I just wrapped up cataloging all my records. They're all in Discogs now. I know exactly what I own. I know exactly how much it's worth.
And how to insure it and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it's such a relief. And then I went back. I had the secondary project because I keep kind of a running tab of what I have in my phone. So if I'm out at a record store, I can just check it. And I didn't realize Discogs has an app. So now I have that app, but I got it all lined up and everything's the same and it's all perfect. And my OCD just feels so good.
Probably not the time to tell you. The other day I went over to your house and Katie let me in and I took an album out of one sleeve and put it in another, but I'm not going to tell you which. So there's two albums that are not in the right case.
Eventually I will discover that. We listen to the record. You joke like that. It's funny. There were a couple of albums by artists nobody cares about, but I thought we've got this album. And then in the process of cataloging it, when I pulled the record out, it was the wrong record. Somebody had stuck a record from a different artist. And it wasn't like, it was like a $5 record. So I wasn't mad, but it was still like, oh man, I thought I had this record and now I got to go out and find it again. It's weird how the collecting goes. But one of the things I learned about the Discogs app, it's got all your music in it. So if you can't decide what you want to listen to, if you shake your phone, it'll just pop up a suggestion out of your own collection. Say, hey, listen to this.
Okay.
So I thought it was kind of nice because sometimes we go through that process where it's like, I don't know what I want to listen to.
Then you're embarrassed that that's in your collection. Remember when the iPod Shuffle would come out and you'd be like working out or something? And like I remember one time I was working out in my garage and I had the door open and a neighbor would come walking up. Right as I'm doing bench presses, like Barry Manilow or something pops on, or Barbra Streisand, and everybody's like, "What is?" And I'm like, "Hey,
I'm a fan of Low. I love Barry.
I love Barry too. That was a bad example.
I've loved him.
Use somebody less cool.
Ever since his KFC jingle that he wrote back in the day. He had 3 big jingles. He did the KFC one.
He did McDonald's,
and then there was one other one I thought.
You deserve a break today. He did a Coca-Cola one too, didn't he?
I don't remember. I'll have to look that up. I'm proud of my Barry Manilow love. Well, of his music.
Okay, I was going to say, boy. Yes.
Either way, I don't care. Are you someone who has trouble falling asleep?
No.
Never?
I can be out anytime.
Man, you're very lucky. Now that we don't have a real schedule to keep, it's been easier for me because I just don't go to bed until I'm tired.
Yeah.
When we were getting up at 2:30 in the morning, I felt compelled. I had to go to bed early because I had to get up at a certain time. And then if you're not quite ready to go to sleep, you lay there in bed going, you got to go to sleep. And then the more you say you got to go to sleep, the more the anxiety for me anyway. And next thing you know, I haven't slept all night. It's tough. Now I just go, whatever time of night it is, I guess I'll go to bed because I have nothing to wake up for tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I sleep now better that we've left, our previous job because I don't have
stressed out.
Yeah. I mean, I had so much rage. I would just go to bed and just lay in bed about what I would do to these people if I could find them in an alley. Now I'm just...
Now it's not about rage. It's just fantasy.
Yes.
I still hope I get to do that, but it's very relaxing. Anyway, if you have trouble sleeping, maybe you've heard of this. There are lots of different ways you can, obviously there's things like melatonin and things when it gets bad. I found that magnesium really helps me fall asleep. I've been taking a magnesium supplement, but it's something called...
Isn't that the X-Men?
No, it's Magneto.
Oh, okay.
Different. He can probably help you fall asleep forever.
Gotcha.
The 4-7-8 method. Have you heard of this?
No.
We've talked about it, I think, maybe a long time ago on our radio show. It's basically a breathing and relaxation method that helps you just kind of calm your mind and eases you falling asleep.
Okay. 4-7-8 Shamil. Shamazel.
Okay, no.
No. What?
That's no.
Oh.
With a nod to Cindy Williams. Rest in peace.
Godspeed.
And we'll do it our way, yes, our way. Make all our dreams come true. For me and you.
So here's what it is basically. Counting is always challenging, but 4-7-8 is a relaxation exercise basically that is breathing in for 4 counts, holding your breath for 7 counts, and exhaling for 8 counts. It has ancient roots, go way back when. I guess yoga, it's a yoga thing, but they say a lot of people who have trouble falling asleep, this just does it for you because it relaxes your mind, it frees your mind, doesn't put you to sleep, but it can reduce anxiety, which is a big part of not falling asleep.
Okay.
It's something to think about. I guess my only fear, I'm trying to relax, and I think about holding my breath for 7 seconds, which is not that long, I know. But I'm like, well, I just feel like I'm just going to gasp out the last part.
I'm just thinking about Tom Cruise, who claims he can hold his breath, like 6 minutes or something.
Yeah,
and
some crazy amount. Kate Winslet broke his record.
Yeah, then 7 seconds. I don't know.
I know it's crazy to think that way, but I'm just like, 7 seconds. I just want to, let me just try for a second. So let's just do it once. So we're going to breathe in for 4. Okay, so I guess I can't.
I was wondering.
No, I guess I can do it, but I don't know how many times I could do that without.
Yeah, you probably fall asleep.
I think they may be on
They
something
just
here.
make you pass out. It's not about going to sleep.
You'll close your eyes.
You just wake up a couple hours later dazed.
What happened? Okay, anyway, we're just passing along the information. 478
Gotcha.
method could help you with that. If you didn't know this already, it is Black History Month. It is a great time to maybe learn something, try something new, do something.
Yes.
And I love this because it's amazing what you can learn when you do just a little bit of looking back
Actual research.
in time. Not like doing your own research like people who are like, oh, I'm an expert on gas stoves right now, but I think tomorrow I'll be an expert on balloons.
Yes.
No, not those nut jobs. I'm talking about actual stuff. This is kind of cool. We wanted to share with you just a few things that we all in our daily lives either use or see or think are really cool that were invented by African Americans.
Okay.
So just share a few of these real quick. They're really cool. First on the list, Mr. George Crumb, maybe a name you've never heard. He was working as a chef at a resort in New York, and a customer sent his dish of French fries back to the kitchen, said that they weren't good. So he was pretty irritated. He got pretty upset, so he cut them as thinly as possible, and then he fried them until they were basically burnt crisps, and he threw a big handful of salt on top, and the potato chip was born.
Awesome. That's cool. I had no idea about that.
I had never heard that before in my life, and I love that because some jerk customer
Yes.
sent some food back to the kitchen, we all get to enjoy delicious potato chips. Thank you, George Crumb.
Yeah, and thank you, Karen, for complaining.
Yeah, right. Have you ever donated blood?
Yes.
Many have. It's a very important thing to do. We wouldn't have blood banks were it not for an African American.
I think I learned that on a MASH episode one time.
Charles Richard Drew became interested in researching the preservation of blood when he was studying at Columbia University. He discovered a method of separating the red blood cells from the plasma, storing them separately, and at that time, they could store it for more than a week, which doesn't sound like a lot now.
Wow.
But that was a pretty big deal then. He documented the findings in a paper, and that led to the very first blood bank.
Amazing.
So thank you, Charles Richard Drew. What about the 3-light traffic light?
I run them all the time.
I guess I should have known that it used to just be 2. There was red for stop, green for go.
Yeah.
But Garrett Morgan, he was the first black person in Cleveland, Ohio to own a car.
Okay.
And he witnessed a severe car accident at an intersection. And he thought, hey, you know what? If we expanded on this current situation and added a yield component, warning them that it was about time to stop, maybe we could prevent some accidents like this from happening. Now, he probably didn't count on people like me.
Speeding up. It's yellow.
But it's a great idea, and it definitely makes, I think, people safer in theory.
Interesting. Every time I see a red light now, I'm going to think about that
There you go.
fact.
So thank you, Garrett Morgan.
I loved him on SNL.
Okay, that's Garrett Morris.
Oh, my bad.
And we'll do one more, and there are hundreds, literally hundreds of things.
Yes.
Peanut butter, the super soaker. There's a bunch of ones that are just fun. But think about how you use the bathroom. What if you were
Why?
What if you were just like, hey, had to run out in the backyard with the dogs, or there was just like a hole, or it was just like a chamber pot like they had for so long.
Yeah, I've been there.
All bad ideas. Thank you very much to Thomas Elkins. Because of him, we have our porcelain thrones.
Really?
He invented the modern toilet.
I thought it was Thomas Crapper, in all honesty.
I think maybe he did the initial whatever. This is the modern toilet. So I'm not sure
Gotcha.
exactly how they define modern, but the porcelain, the way we know them, this gentleman invented.
Interesting.
He said without him, the bathroom would not be nearly as comfortable. So maybe the crapper version had like nails in the seat or something.
Yeah.
And this guy said, it'd be a lot better if we didn't have nails in the seat.
Most of them were where there were no walls on Thomas Crapper's. It was just out in the middle of the street.
Street corner. I do like the convenience of having one right there available, but I don't necessarily want everybody watching me do it. Not necessarily. I'm not saying I'm 100% against it. There's a price. Just saying. Okay, anyway. Black History Month, please go out and do some research, watch some movies, find some entertainment, listen to some music. We have been given so much by the African American community. It's definitely something to celebrate. Now, something not to celebrate, movie prices.
Oh, my goodness. I don't go to a lot of movies anymore now because I'm old. But, man, they're making it harder to want to go.
So AMC has got this great idea, and they're going to start thinking about pricing how we sit in a movie theater, kind of like how we price other seatings in places, I guess, like planes and stuff. I don't know. So they're going to start charging a premium. You pay a higher price to get what they consider the most coveted seats in the theater, which would be in the center, right in the middle. So I don't agree with that because I don't want to have to bother everybody when I get up to go out or whatever. But and then the ones like down front would be less money.
Because now what you're going to have is you're going to pick out your seat because no one's sitting around you, and then someone's going to go, I'll buy the cheap seats, and then if nobody's in those, I'll move up as soon as the movie starts. And you're going to start having that jump.
I don't know how you police all this. The one thing I will say that I do like that they made the change of is reserve seating.
Yes. Now, if they really want to get something I could get behind, what I would like is a system where your ticket prices go up during the movie for the amount of noise you make.
Oh, like you have to give them your card information.
Yes.
And then if you're complained about seat number so-and-so is on their phone.
Yes.
Of course, you're on your phone too. I guess that wouldn't.
No, but if you're spotted on your phone or whatever, it goes up $1.
I would love to start charging people. That's the reason I don't remember the last movie I saw in the theater, but once COVID hit, Katie and I just quit going to movies. She already has a tough time. We've talked about this before because of the hearing issue she has where every little noise like chewing.
That's the way I am.
Shuffling. With her, it's physical pain. Like she can't function.
It just takes away all my focus.
Yeah, for me, it's just annoying because people are so rude now. They don't care. They won't try to be quiet. They will be on their phone. They will be doing stupid things in the movie theater. And I can enjoy it more at home. I can pause it there. I can relax. I can see it as I want to see it without having to be bothered by all these things.
I've told the story before, and I'll tell it again. And this is how long it's been, 96, 2000, somewhere in there when Panic Room came out. My friends Tim and Amanda in San Diego, we went and saw this movie at the Hazard Center in San Diego. Panic Room was so good, a suspenseful movie. The lady behind us literally had multiple rows turning around and yelling, going, shut up, because she would go, what's going to be behind that door? They're going to reach behind the door. Oh, my goodness, they're behind the door. Watch out. And I mean, it did not stop from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie. And when the lights came up, the husband that was with this lady had his head down.
Why didn't he do something?
Because he's whooped. And people were like, you ruined this movie for us. And she was like, what? What did I do? Like she was adding to our enjoyment or something. But it was nonstop. Don't open that. What's going to be behind there? Oh, she's going to do it. It was infuriating.
That's all I can think of and wanting to do to that person in that moment is when George is doing the opposite on Seinfeld and how he treats those guys talking. That's exactly what I would want to do to her in that moment.
I mean, people were turning around and yelling, please stop. I mean, yelling, please shut up.
That's when you want to look at the husband and go, if she doesn't shut up, I'm going to kick your ass outside this theater when the movie's over. So it's up to you. How do you want to handle this? There's about 10 of us who are going to be waiting out there. I don't understand people like that. So anyway, the AMC thing, obviously a lot of people are already clapping back on that. They don't like the idea. I'm not sure if that's a win for anybody except AMC.
Yeah.
So I don't see it taking off. I haven't seen anybody else jumping on going, this is a good idea.
Yeah.
We should do this too. Okay, so we're up to the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I'm sorry, the big game. I think we're allowed to say Super Bowl though.
Yeah.
We're not doing a commercial effort.
Well, if they sue us, come get whatever we got. We're not making money off this show, so.
So we got Chris Stapleton doing the national anthem this year, and I think it promises to be incredible.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And what's great is, it's great if you're a country music fan, this is the third consecutive year that a country artist has handled the anthem duties at the Super Bowl.
Okay, it was Mickey Guyton, and then...
Mickey Guyton last year before was Eric Church, and Jasmine Sullivan?
I don't know who that is.
Maybe? And so we thought, okay, well, there are obviously others who maybe we forgot about. I did not know. Do you know who the first country artist ever...
I do because I'm a fan.
Okay. Maybe you don't. So stick with us because we're going to get to that in just a couple of seconds. We're going to start current and move backwards. All right. So as Chris already mentioned, Mickey Guyton.
Yes.
Handled things last year.
She did a great job.
Did a fantastic job. It's a great voice. And then before that, as we mentioned, Eric Church, Jasmine Sullivan. I got it right. And then we go back a little farther. Then you got to go back to 2017. And it was Luke Bryan.
Oh, yeah. I was nervous for him because he had sang at a NASCAR event and maybe had been slightly overserved and had the lyrics written on his hand.
Oh, I remember that. That was the same year?
I think it was close.
Okay. I mean, here again, because And nothing, no offense to Luke, I think he's a great guy. But like most of his music, I just find it forgettable. It's like, I had no idea he sang the national anthem
he
at the
sang
Super
it,
Bowl.
and he did a great job.
Okay, good. Well, he sounds great. I would imagine that he would be good. Then before that, we go back to 2010. Who do you think might have been 2010? Female.
Carrie Underwood.
Boom. Nicely done.
Thank you.
I don't think anybody is going to doubt how she sounded. She pretty much always sounds impeccable. Then jump back 7 years before that. And this Super Bowl happened to take place in our old stomping grounds, Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. 2003. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Oakland Raiders. And that year, it was also a double shot of country. Shania Twain did the halftime show.
Okay, so who was hot? Shania was there. Garth?
No, he did do the national anthem, but not this year.
I don't know.
More controversial.
Controversial. Roseanne Barr's not country.
Nope.
I don't know.
The Chicks.
Oh, yes.
Known as the Dixie Chicks at that time. But yes, that was the Chicks, and they sounded great. And then go back right before that. Not right before, 2000, Faith Hill.
Oh, yeah. She did a good version.
She slays the anthem. She just does a great job. 93 was Mr. Garth Brooks. Who did he sing it with? Did he do it with somebody else? Or did somebody sign it maybe?
Yes.
Oh, that's Marley Maitland.
Yes.
Okay. I was like, I had no idea. That's cool that she did that.
Yes.
I love that they got a celebrity signer to do it with the celebrity singer. That's very cool. I did not remember that. And what's crazy is look at the time between this. So that was 1993.
Yes.
To get back before that to country, you go back to the first time a country artist sang the national anthem at a Super Bowl, 1974. So almost a 20-year gap. I wonder why that was.
I don't know.
But Chris, you said you knew?
It's Charlie Pride, I believe.
It sure is.
And he's great. And during that time, that's where country was deemed very uncool.
Yeah.
It was like the Don Williams and the Merle Haggards, and that was rednecks.
Yeah.
So maybe the Super Bowl didn't want that.
Maybe. Charlie Pride's great, though, and good for him. If you are curious about history of Super Bowl, that was the Miami Dolphins and the Minnesota Vikings, Super Bowl VIII at Rice Stadium in Houston, Texas. The Texas Longhorn Band performed during the halftime show. You can tell they hadn't quite gotten the halftime show thing down just yet.
Well, now they've got it all worked out where everybody's paying money to be. They want the halftime shows to start paying to perform because so many people watch it. And I still don't understand why other networks don't say, soon as halftime hits, come to our channel and we're going to do this. Like Eddie Murphy's going to do a live 12-minute set, or Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, whoever's hot at the time.
And because I would be like, oh, I'll watch that.
I think you've said it before. I mean, the fact that they don't do counter-programming specific like that has got to be some kind of gentleman's agreement, because otherwise, why in the world wouldn't you try to at least – that's your only chance maybe to take something.
Yes.
I don't get that. But anyway, I know Chris Stapleton's going to be awesome, so make sure you check it out. Over the next couple of days before the big game happens, we've got some really cool shorts coming up, a couple of hacks you might want to check out. Keep coming back and checking the channel. And now that brings us to the Grammys. I haven't watched a Grammy show in a long time. I happened to have some free time the other night, and Katie wasn't around at that time, so I turned it on just to see something.
We watched it. I was very underwhelmed. Very cranky old man right here.
Well, I caught kind of at the beginning Trevor Noah doing his thing out in the audience,
and to me, he seemed like he just winged it. Like he was, I'll just walk around and be funny because that's what I am. And whenever you're around somebody that does that, everybody's got a friend or somebody they work with that when they do the company party, they're like, I'll do the entertainment because I'm pretty quick. It's never good. And it just seemed like he did not have a monologue written out, rehearsed, practiced, and it just wasn't good.
I got a couple of laughs, but that's not for the price of admission. I mean, if I'm watching the show, I feel like I should be more entertained than that.
Yes.
I like Trevor Noah. Katie and I've seen his stand up live, and it's funny, but that wasn't. I'm torn because I think he did a good job of hosting the event, but that was not. That was sloppy, I guess. And then like I said, I flipped back and forth. I thought Brandi Carlile nailed it. God, she's so good.
She can do no wrong.
I mean, just unbelievable. And I love that she won the Grammy for rock performance. I mean, that was so cool. That voice, I'm sorry. It's unbelievable.
Harry Styles, man, that guy, you talk about being on a roll and people losing their minds over this guy. And women of all ages are just, whatever, Harry. They're in love with Harry.
I didn't know much about him when he first got started, but now just in these last few years, I really enjoy his music. I like him a lot. Now, that is a moment that people are a little upset about when it comes to the Grammys, because many people felt it was Beyonce's year. And if you go back to when nominations and stuff were coming out, we talked about Renaissance being, everybody was saying it was the best album of the year, no doubt. And then you get to the Grammys and it doesn't win. I mean, I think it makes people kind of question the process at the Grammys. Harry's album was a great album, but the fact Beyonce walked away without that award, is a little surprising.
She had enough. She won plenty.
What, she's the most
of all time.
She's won more than anybody now, and so good for her. But I mean, that's one I think she wants. Has she ever won album of the year?
I don't know.
I don't know. See, I'm not a huge fan of Beyonce, so I don't follow that, but I get why her fans are upset. But what upsets me, and this comes back to something we've talked about for years, award shows are really not about giving out awards as far as people watching on television.
Yes.
We want to see performances. We want to see, let's see who's going to sing. Let's see what they're going to do. And when they give out awards, they've done the metrics. The ratings go down as awards are being handed out.
And I can tell you what probably got even worse ratings was a group of people, I don't know who they are, debating on the albums.
I don't think that's entertainment.
No.
I did love that they had somebody important to the artist introduce the artist.
Yes.
I love seeing Brandy's wife introduce her. I thought it was really cool to see Harry's friend from childhood introduce him. I like that. But yeah, that other thing, that was weird. But did you notice, staying on the Harry Styles Beyonce thing, I mean, on her, obviously her fans are very rabid, much like Taylor Swift's fans.
Yes. Very
rabid. And they were very upset. But even her famous friends in the room, because all night they had been showing pictures like Lizzo, Adele, and Beyonce were selfies, and they were hanging out together, having a great time. And when they announced Harry as the winner, everybody's standing up and clapping. And Adele was just like, she didn't stand up, she didn't clap, she didn't smile. I was like, whoo, that was rough. I mean, they're human beings. They're allowed to have reactions, but I'm sure they hear about it when they get caught on camera, not being the fake.
Well, you can't really react because Faith Hill one year, as a joke, went,
yeah.
And everybody roasted her like, oh, how classless and all this. And it was like, she was joking. Yeah. So it's like, you just have to sit there and just.
Yeah, you're in a tough spot. I would not want to live in that fishbowl. I don't like it when things are made out of something that they don't necessarily have to be made out of. I think Harry being a little tone deaf and saying this doesn't happen to guys like me or to people like me. A lot of people were upset because they were like, hey, this could have been the first time a Puerto Rican won that award. This could have been the first time. And seeing another white guy say that was rough. But I don't think he meant it that way in any stretch. And I'm no giant Harry Styles fan. I just don't think he meant it that way. I think we live in a world where everybody is ready to pounce on the smallest comment and turn it into the worst possible thing. And maybe we need to stop doing that.
I think he's probably a guy that's looking back on his childhood and then like even flunking out of American Idol.
Yeah.
He was on American Idol, they were like, nope, you ain't got it. Out. And Simon Cowell went to him and said, hey, I'm going to keep in touch with you and put you with this other few guys that I think could be a band. Simon Cowell saw something. The other people didn't. They didn't put him through.
Yeah, I've said it kind of something similar to this before. I think there are plenty of opportunities for us to look at areas in our world where we are absolutely being horrible to people of color or people of a certain sexual preference or all those things. But I think saying something off the cuff in a speech at the Grammys about it being is not the time to point those fingers.
Yeah.
I don't get that. So I thought Bad Bunny's opening performance, by the way, was killer. I'm not a fan of his music, but man, that was a great spectacle for an opening. I liked it.
Okay.
So, like I said, I'm not buying his records, but I thought that was really cool. It was fun to see. Then there's the thing that I think probably most everybody's talking about right now.
The most relatable thing of the entire Grammys.
And whether you're a man or woman, if you are with someone, you've probably been drugged to something you didn't want to go to.
PTA meeting, church.
I mean, whatever, a social gathering of some kind. I can guarantee you, if it involves me leaving the house, I am Ben Affleck. That's what I look like. But I try to put on a happy face. But when you're Ben Affleck and the cameras are on you the whole time, it was crazy. You must have seen it, of course. I mean, he looked miserable. Every time the camera panned to him, he was just like...
Well, and once they caught him,
like
you saw J-Lo look at the camera like, oh, because she was giving him the business.
Well, I saw that moment, and then I saw somebody tweet, hey, where are my lip readers at? What did she say to him? And we've got at least one version of what we think was said.
And that was, subscribe to Tony and Chris, Ben, or I'm divorcing you.
I mean, I wish that was the case.
Oh, that's not what was said.
We wish you would subscribe. But here's what this lip reader that was sanctioned by a newspaper in the UK, I think, says that she said to Ben. When we saw them exchanging these words, apparently she said, stop, look more friendly, look motivated. And he apparently replies, I might.
I might. So that was a guy that was drugged to the Grammys. And let's be honest, everybody's going, it's the Grammys. Why wouldn't you be excited? That's work to them.
Oh, yeah.
Those kind of events. But when he goes to award shows, it's acting award shows. And he's won a few Oscars. So even in a room full of actors, he's reached the pinnacle a couple of times where a lot of these actors have never even been nominated. So he's a big shot. Now he's sitting there in this world of, everybody was like, oh, who's that with J-Lo? Oh, that's Ben Affleck with J-Lo. She's the big shot, and he's surrounded by people, and they're all drinking and doing whatever. We'll have a story about that in a second. But, he's like, I'm sober. I'm watching everybody party.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And and frankly, that whole relationship, them being back together again and married, I don't know.
Well, we were doing stories on that before they started dating, that she had a whole layout of their dating, getting back together plan once they started seeing each other, like, this is how we're going to roll it out to the media. And she didn't want to be embarrassed. Like, she didn't want to look like I'm just dating anybody or I can't get a date once her and A-Rod split up. She was embarrassed, so they had it lined up, and then it's just bizarre.
I don't know. Anyway, I love that this guy is now going to be part of. He is such a meme famous guy because of the whole thing around Batman when he's outside with a cigarette looking so miserable, and now this is going to get added on top of that. Poor guy. And then finally, the juicy bit of gossip, and we don't have a name on this. We don't know who did this, so it's not like we're holding it back.
Yeah, we're not holding this one back.
We're in the same position as anybody else. We just heard about it, and we're like, ooh.
But multiple sources have told us, and it's hit a few of the tabloids.
Yeah, so we'll share it with you how it was shared with us, how we saw it. Speaking of country singers, this A-list singer who was a nominee/winner last night wins the Going to the Bathroom Award the most to do coke. It was every 10 minutes at an after party. So we don't know who that is, and we don't know how they define A-list. There are only a few country winners.
Yeah.
So if you look at that and see who...
Willie Nelson I can rule out because he wasn't there, but he won.
Okay. I think Miranda was a winner. We know Carly Pearce and Ashley McBride were winners.
And then the guy.
Zach Bryan was a winner. So, and then his Twitter is mysteriously, at the recording of this show, gone away. Don't know what that's about. But, hey, look. It shouldn't be shocking that a celebrity or a singer is doing drugs. But.
And what we want to tell you straight up is if they're doing cocaine, we hope they get help and stop it, but they may really like the way it smells.
I don't care if they stop or not. I just don't want them to be crazy about it. I think it's not legal. And we're not saying you should do things that are illegal. But you're grown up with the money, and it's your thing. And if nobody else is,
if you want to be stupid, be stupid.
Yeah, I've never heard of anybody doing coke who said, you know what, last night doing coke was the right move.
Yeah, that's always been my go-to move. I was at a party years ago, and a fairly famous person was pushing cocaine on me, and I was like, dude, I'm 37, and no one has ever come to me and said, you know what, started doing cocaine, best decision of my life.
Everything went great.
Yeah, I started making more money. My health was better. My relationships got better. Everything improved.
I look great. I feel great.
Yeah. And I said, when that happens, line me up. But until then,
I think that's it. All right, let's wrap up with some internet we found funny this week. This one I just love. An actual Nutrisystem ad, and this person says, I loved it so much I pinned it on my wall. You got to look down at this guy's quote. So it's a before and after. My wife told me I'm not as disgusting as I used to be. That's his big Nutrisystem success story.
Wow.
He lost 32 pounds, so it's great.
I'm not as disgusting.
Thanks, honey.
I guess it's an improvement.
Sure, why not? This one's a video. Look at this. So a lovely day to test out my drone. So look what happens here. Everything looks great. Oh, there's a guy. He's jogging. No, he's not. He's running from a bear.
Wow.
They flip it around. This bear was chasing the guy down the trail, and they caught it on their drone. I wonder if it was the cocaine bear.
Boy, I would have looked like the Flash. You would have saw the blur.
I mean, wow. I don't even know what to say to that. That would be so terrifying.
Wow, that scared me just watching it.
I thought I'd been scared before, but to be that close to a big bear running, and
if that happened to you and me, I would be outrunning you, yelling, "Take him!"
You'd have to fight me for that. This is why I train. That's why I ride the Peloton, so that in that situation, I might be able to outrun you if I have to. I love you.
But, yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Exactly. All right, here's another video. So if you have dogs, if your dog's a real fast eater and you want him to kind of slow down, they market these bowls, basically, that are supposed to slow your dog down and make him take more time. But if you have a dog like the dog in this video, and that's what it's supposed to look like, but nope. Somebody's got to ruin it for everybody. An older one here, but it's so true. Elementary school teacher accused of having wine in classroom. I'm not saying it's right, but I understand.
I think teachers across the country, who should be one of the highest paid professions, I think a wine company would make so much if they said, we're going to send a free case to every school for the teachers. Just for y'all after hours at your own home, whatever. But, we appreciate you guys. Would get so much attention.
I love this one. The headline, personal trainer jailed for having cocaine worth, 25,000 euro? Comment, I've been going to him for years. Just shows you never really know someone. I had no idea he was a personal trainer. That's not bad.
I love that.
And on that subject of this, and we're not trying to glorify any of this, but sounds like a hell of a night. Look at this. So about your hospitalization, you were admitted May 27th, discharged May, can't quite see. Why you were hospitalized. Look at all those things, all the drugs. But that last one, as if the drug and alcohol wasn't bad enough, you also got struck by lightning.
There's some definite signs there that maybe you were pushing the limits.
That is a night to remember or forget. Classic dad joke here in meme form.
My fave.
Lost my pizza cutter, so I used a Bryan Adams CD. It cuts like a knife. Roper. Always make sure someone in the relationship has good credit. That's why it's called significant other. Sign if I can't. I never saw it this way. This has changed my world.
It will.
See, sometimes memes can do so much more than just make you
Exactly.
laugh. Me cleaning the house without music, with music.
Oh, absolutely.
100%. Depending on what song comes on, I mean, I can
Yes.
go. So that's it. Hey, thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate you being here, coming back and checking out the channel. As we always say at the end, if you've made it this far, you're a rock star. Share.
Share and put a comment on there like, hey, please follow these guys. Subscribe to their channel.
Yeah, and if you watched any portion, if you only watched like the last half, whatever, we hope you'll hit that like button because that's always nice as well. We're trying to get YouTube to put us out there so more people find us. We appreciate you. We thank you. Come back and see us again next time. We'll see you soon.